You know, if within the next 30 years you ever have a kid, and that kid asks you, why is it that we cannot use energy that isn't destroying the earth? I want you to tell them it all started in Wyoming. Or if they ever ask you why it takes $5,000 to buy any form of gas, I want you to tell them it all started in Wyoming. Or if they ask you why the world is basically destroyed now because we were digging under it looking for oil for so long, I want you to tell them it all started in Wyoming. I saw this headline from EcoWatch.com, and I'm just going to read it to you because it's, my God. Wyoming bill would outlaw renewable energy. Republican lawmaker, are you really expecting it to be anyone else? In Wyoming, have introduced a bill that would block the use of renewable energy in the states. If passed, utilities that use wind or solar to produce power for Wyoming residents would be penalized with a costly fine of $10 per megawatt hour. So, in Wyoming, you could get fined for using wind or sunlight. How? You want to know how much wind and sunlight actually cost you and should realistically cost you? Nothing. They are charging you for natural resources because you didn't want to buy their bureaucratic, oligarchic products and would rather use clean energy that we will never run out of. Attaching any price to wind or sunlight is idiotic because you cannot run out of that resource. At least in cases of things like water, there's a realistic minimum amount. There is no minimum amount for water, for sunlight or wind, and even if there was, solar and wind energy does not destroy said wind. So there is no point in charging in it unless you just want to perp up the fossil fuels industry. That's clearly what this bill was only designed to do. Make it so fossil fuel industries were bigger than ever. Because realistically, would you rather be charged for something you gotta set up and do, and then be charged again for using it? Or just pay once for some kind of oil or gas and ignore the fact that we're gonna run out of those one day? Remember, guys, supply and demand. And we have a much higher supply of sunlight and wind than we do for oil, so... And the people who should be the most angry about this are conservatives and libertarians. They're the people who claim to love the free market so much. And yet, they'll be fine with a Wyoming bill basically saying, no free market, use our products or else. And do you really think that this problem is going to stay only in Wyoming? Do you really think that in this case, there are going to be other states saying, we'll move our jobs to Wyoming if you don't pass similar legislations and regulations? No, they're just going to move over there, so in order to keep jobs in certain states, they're going to have to pass similar legislation. And you know, it's my belief that the government should regulate corporations and protect its people. This Wyoming bill is protecting corporations and regulating the people. Not in a way that can hurt other people, but in a way that can hurt the business of giant corporations. This is clear corporatism. Not capitalism, corporatism. You know, I don't even think I should call it corporatism or oligarchy. I'm going to call it what it really is. Evil.